Brad, life without Klaus begins this week. Offensively, what do you, not to give away trade secrets, but what are you looking at this week?
Yeah, I thought we put a lot of good things to the test on Tuesday night. Just to be flexible, had good variations, good structure, and I think that's the most important thing. And it's about us finding structure. We let that get away from us a little bit last week in Colorado. Fixed it up, midweek, and now we move on again. Excited about this game to host a good, rejuvenated Portland team.
Are you envisioning formational changes?
Yeah, we have a flexibility within the group to play many different positions, right? So, I mean, I think it's clear to say, Joe Aquini, shifts one up higher, and then we'll have to see who we put in at 10, and we have one or two plans and go from there. But I think as for the guys' arguments to give me some questions and some headaches, the guys made a great case for on Tuesday night.
Bradley, second time playing Portland this season, and they have some guys out, some guys back, but does that help you in any way that you already played them?
It does and it doesn't, right? So now we get back to now teams who normally you see these teams on match day 20-something, right? Or from 18 onwards, right? Which is in a couple months. That we get to see a team for the second round so soon. It's still fresh in our memories of how great that experience was. And in their memories, for sure, things to get better. Obviously they had a depleted squad. Esprit is back, Bowley is there, so they have a real strong lineup. So with game changers and difference makers all over the field. So, they played last night, only, started probably 2 starters, if anything. So we're expecting a strong, Portland team, whichever lineup they put out there. It's going to be an opponent to be reckoned with.
You mentioned the strong lineup for Portland. They're without Eric Williamson at least, but it will be a rejuvenated Evander, among others, are going to be there that you didn't see fully last game. Does any of that, or how does the difference in Portland's roster availability impact your plan compared to your first match?
I think it changes game planning just a little bit, because each team has a structure and each team has difference makers and character traits, right? So we try and observe and analyze the different formational tweaks that they do when they have certain players in and when they have certain players out. And for me, obviously their right-hand side is very, very dangerous with Mosquera bombing down the right-hand side. So, is he a right back or is he a right winger? He's everything. So that's very, very important. But I felt our group has dealt well with players who operate like that. And Barriel is one from Cincinnati who's on a similar profile in terms of how dangerous they can be defending and attacking. And Mosquera falls into that category. So, we're excited about seeing a very good team. We want to measure ourselves with the best teams, and Portland is for sure one of the best teams.
Corey? Obviously, Roman, huge last game to get you guys to a draw. How do you make it so he maybe doesn't have to be that good and see that kind of volume? Because I know, even though he was great, that's probably more shots than you'd like him to see.
Yeah, doing the same things we did for 7 games. Right, so I think there were games where Roman would have liked a bit more action, and then he at least made 1 key save per game. I think that's what the stats are currently. Even with the onslaught that Colorado had, I think Roman saves, if you value expected or big saves per game, he's at 1.1 saves per game that are, really goal saving or big contributions in between the sticks. So, we value Roman. We know what we have in him. But I would feel more comfortable if we didn't give off as many as we did the other night. And for sure, we've reflected, we've had a look at video, and we're making sure that, we want to right the wrongs.
Kevin? Hey, Brad, good quick question. Just what are the challenges of having 3 matches in the span of 8 days, particularly with the players that did play in most of these matches?
Yeah, I think it's logistically, I think it's organizationally. I think trying to get guys on different cadences now of their progressions through the week from an energy standpoint, from the loading standpoint. So we have to be strategic how we load certain players and certain groups, right? So, but I think it's great that we can get guys minutes. I look at this week as an optimist, and I look at these games. And that's how we structured preseason. We had every 3 days a good opponent, and we managed that through preseason really well and got guys a lot of minutes. So now we're back into that mode, almost from a mentality standpoint. You know, guys are making a case for themselves. Guys are playing with urgency. Guys are playing with energy, and we put it on full display against a real opponent, not just against ourselves in training. So not to discredit Omaha in any way. They were a force to be reckoned with last year. We knew we had to respect the opponent. We knew we had to come out the gates flying, and we did exactly that with a full rotated squad, pretty much, bar Indy Vasilev. So from that point of view, it's been an exciting week. It's been an enjoyable week, and the spirits are high.
How do, on that topic, just fitness-wise, energy-wise, coming off these two games, and especially Indy, who's I think probably had the most minutes. Löwen may have been up there. How do the guys look?
Great. Yeah, no, they look great. I mean, obviously today we don't focus on too much of the energy standpoint from the training loads perspective. It's more the tactical and going through game planning stuff. So today was a good day to come down in the load, and tomorrow we'll have a slight activation, a small spike in the program. But yeah, the guys have managed the loads well, and Indy and all these guys who made contributions. So we would have been able to turn around if we had started our group on Tuesday again. But we're happy we didn't have to, and now we can be full fit and ready to go on Saturday.
How do you assess play like AZ's and Celio's on Tuesday, considering that it is against a third division team?
Yeah.
Applying that, how do you rate that?
Yeah, you still have to make contributions, right? Even if you play against the 11 mannequins that we have, the 11 guys who don't move, if you don't make a good pass, you're going to hit the mannequin, right? So, and I said not to discredit the opponent that we played against. We had to bring it. We had to bring our best. And we had to play with the urgency and energy that was required to sort of dishearten the opponent. Just with our energy, the waves of attack, the counter-pressing, the forward defending, I thought our principles, and if you play by those principles, I think you can make it hard for any opponent on any given day. And I think those guys did a great job of playing by the principles. And when I evaluate AZ, I don't look at him with the ball, right? I know he has mega talent with the ball, but when you look at AZ against the ball, coming back in the game, running, like he was cramping after 75 minutes because he emptied the tank, right? He knew what was required of him as an individual, as a teammate, and he had many big contributions against the ball. So, and that made me more happy than with his, it's nice to see him on the score sheet, but I like seeing principles.
And is there a need to reward a guy when he does something like that? He hasn't made a whole lot of game day rosters this season, obviously.
Yeah, I told him when he signed for us, I told AZ, there's going to be all of these factors will happen to you this year. You will play with us, you will train with the first team, you will get City 2 minutes, and you'll be great. So all four of those things have happened at different times through the season, young season already. We know that we're going to have a jam-packed season over the summer. So there's going to be a lot of game time for everybody, and a lot of individuals are going to get rewarded, and hopefully, we can keep this thing going where guys are feeling hungry, tenacious, and energetic about whoever they play against, just to make their lives a misery.
I think you'd mentioned after the game on Tuesday that, like Eduard Löwen in particular, came up and said he wants to play, ready to go. How do you balance a player's desire to continue getting minutes when they need to, you have so many matches in a given week?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the feeling, it's a little bit of the data, it's a little bit of the science, and it's a little bit of, how Edu's built as an athlete, as a character. He always wants to do the best for the team, right? And he always wants to be on the field. He's unhappy when I take him out in Seattle, right? He knows he can make a contribution any time of day, whether it's a set piece, whether it's in the run of play, whether it's out of nothing. We know that Edu has contributed in so many ways already. So for him to tell me, he feels really good, and that's great to hear. Now it's my job to please the player and to listen to the science and all of these aspects. So I think we made a compromise somewhere along the way to give Edu 20 minutes.
And then any player news, availability, injuries other than Klaus, Nilsson, and Blom?
No, other than that, I think we're pretty good from a health standpoint. All the guys came out of the game on Tuesday very, very well. So yeah, again, just rinse and repeat and get guys together and ready to go.
We'll wrap up with time. Yeah, with Klaus out, does Edu get a little bit more of an offense attacking responsibility?
I think he's already inherently doing that for us, right? So without you even seeing it, he's already making those contributions a little bit further up the field, and he helps us in many, many ways. So yeah, Sometimes we can attack with 4 10s, with Edu joining in. If we have, the 3 10s, Jared Stroud, all these guys, plus Indy, Vasilev, we have a very fluid midfield. And we like to, play vertical. That's not a secret. We like to play brave. That's also not a secret, right? So I think a lot of the things you're asking, Edu does inherently from out of his instinct.
And he will, because Klaus is not there, maybe see going forward more.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you've watched the last 8 games, you can see a bit of the fluidity. You can see Edu in the 10. You can see him in the 6. You can see him as a winger at times. So he'll get. We're going to come up with a good game plan for sure. And we'll wait till Saturday to roll that out.
Coach, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Rasmus, how does the offense change with Klaus out?
I mean, he's a really good player, so of course he changed. But we have a good squad that with a lot of talent, so I'm not too worried. And it's up to the other players to step up now when he's injured. So we have to do the work, and I think we will do great.
How do you feel you need to step up?
Yeah, but I'm trying to bring it every game, trying to do my hard work to help the team, and that's what I will bring.
How do you feel like you've meshed with a guy like Jake Nerwinski on the right hand side? A lot of our plays and attacking goes through the wings, and so do you feel like you've gotten a good rapport with a player like him?
Yeah, I mean we try to help each other a lot, and try to talk a lot to each other about situations in the game and stuff. So yeah, I think we have a good connection, and we like to play with each other. So that's a positive thing.
And Bradley mentioned the fluidity in the attack. You spend a lot of time on the wing with crosses. You play inward a lot. What is your favorite kind of, I guess, style, or how do you like to play most when you're in the attacking?
I mean, I think I'm a hard-working player, so for me it doesn't matter like where the space is and where I can try to create something. I try to be there, and sometimes you have to cover a lot of ground to get there, but that's just the fun part. So I mean, for me it doesn't matter. It's just where I see the opportunity to do something good, I try to do it.
Can you talk about your connection with Jared Stroud? It just looks like you guys know where each other are, and you guys do so well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same with Jake. We try to, we get to certain positions in the game, and we try to talk about them and where we can, be when Jared has the ball where he wants me to be, and the other way around. So we try to help each other, and so far it has been pretty good. So hopefully we can develop that and be better.
Bradley spoke about the positives of having 3 matches in essentially a week. Can you do you share as a whole team that same positive mindset of the experiential aspect of it, being able to get onto the field, get some time, and everything, in for having so many matches and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, you want to play games. So if we can play more games, then I think everybody would be more happy, because that's the aim of every week, to play the games. So if there's 3 games in a week, I think as a player, that's perfect.
What do you think was missing in the Colorado game last Saturday?
I mean, the feeling I got on the pitch that we were a bit off, but still to not have a good game as we wanted to have, we still managed to get a point out of it. So I think that tells us what a team we are, that we like to work hard, and if we can do that in a game that maybe doesn't go as we want and we still can get a point of it, I feel like that's a pretty good, team effort to the game.
How have you felt about your past 3 games? There were the injury there in the middle of it, but you've had goals or the own goal that you caused. How have you felt about? Feel like more comfortable out there?
Yeah, of course. When you play more, you get more comfortable, and yeah, the injuries stopped me for some weeks, and then I came back with a lot of energy and wanted to play. So, and then Bradley put me in the starting lineup for the first game I was back. So that I was happy about that, and yeah, and it's just to be energized and doing the hard work that Bradley wants from us, and then we will be a good team for sure.
We have time for two more. Go with Matt and then Santi.
Bradley had mentioned guys making cases for themselves for the upcoming game. With Klaus out, are you a guy who would make a case for himself to maybe move up a little higher in the attack, or is it a case of happy to be wherever you are in the attack?
For me, it's up to Bradley. If I will put in the work, as I said, in every game, and if that's in a different position, I will try my best to help the team. So, and I think all the players in our squad is like that. They want to help as much as possible. So, yeah, for me it doesn't matter. Yeah, I will put in the work and do my best wherever I play.
Santi.
Rasmus, what are your thoughts on the level of play of MLS so far?
I mean, compared to Sweden, it's the intensity is a bit higher, and the quality of players is also a bit better. But yeah, I try to, adjust to the league and to everything. This is my first press conference, so this is new as well. So yeah, I'm trying my best.
Eddie, what did you take away from the Colorado game and what you guys needed to do differently this week?
Yeah, I think we were against Colorado a little bit too stretched, and we gave them too many opportunities, too much space, and also I don't know, we got exposed so many times. They were playing in behind, and there were so many times going on 1v1 to on Roman. I think in the end of the day we can be happy with the point. Even if we conceded it very late, we wanted to still win that game. But we are also talking very often about surviving, like Salt Lake, the first half, we were surviving that half, and second half, we made a great game and won that game. So sometimes it's also, competing and taking a good result, even if you don't perform that well.
And even though it won't be too long, it looks like, how does the offense change without Klaus, and what do you guys have to do to make up for his absence?
Yeah, obviously Klaus is a great player, and you can't just he's very important to the team, but hopefully he's going to be back very soon. But we also have a lot of other very good players. I think Nico did very well the last couple of games, always when he played as a striker, and as Bradley said, he will find a solution. I think we have enough good players and enough good solutions to handle that.
Bradley had mentioned you came up to him and you were asking about playing in the Open Cup game. What was it about that night or that match that you really wanted to get in the game? Was it the Open Cup itself and the history? Was it just competitive as another game for City?
No, honestly, if it would be a friendly game, I would have asked him as well. So I just always want to play. There's always the opportunity, and I just love to be on the pitch. Just love to play, and of course, it's even more special. It's always so enjoyable to play here in City Park with so many fans. The atmosphere that makes it, even better. But at least I just want to play always.
And so your role in the midfield, it evolves, it changes as the game dictates almost. When you move from a 6 to a 10 and in between, is it second nature to you based on kind of where you are in the field and what you need to do, or do you have to take a little adjustment to take stock of what's going on around you as you move through the midfield?
Yeah, I think the 10 is good because I can get more dangerous. I'm closer to the goal, and I can create more opportunities for my teammates maybe. But I love it also to play on the 6 because I have more freedom, because I can come back sometimes, get the ball, get some touches, can control the game a little bit more. And as a 10, you are more dependent on your teammates, getting the balls in the spaces. And I think that's going to be important whether I'm playing on the 6 or on the 10. You know that I'm still trying to get as many balls as possible.
Santi?
So back to Open Cup, we know you always want to play, but what was the experience of watching your teammates out there and some of the guys who haven't had a lot of minutes doing so well?
Yeah, I think even if we play the lower division team, it's always tough. In the cup, everything can happen because it's just one game. I think if I'm not wrong, San Jose is out, and 1-2 other MLS teams, lost against lower division teams. So it's always tough. As Bradley said, it's very important to keep the mentality very high and to be clinical in front of the goal. I think the first half we should have scored 4 goals or something. You are one goal up, and they score out of nowhere maybe, then it's 1-1. They get motivated, and then it's going to be difficult. So I think we managed that game very well.
What were some of the positives out of the last time you played Portland that you guys are looking to take into this match this week?
Yeah, I think we have to be aware of set pieces for sure. They have some really tall and good guys. They're good at set pieces for sure, and it's also a very, very good team. I think one of the best teams in the league. I think we played a good game last time in Portland, and yeah, it's going to be very important that we have a very good game as well, and that we come out of the locker room the way we did against Cincinnati, for example. Yeah, I think nobody expected us to win against Cincinnati 5-1, but it was the way we approached that game. We came out, we are just pressing them every single time. We didn't give them any time or space, and it's going to be very important that we do that as well in this game. And just play with 100% and even more.
Corey?
Your first answer, you talked about giving up too many maybe one-on-ones with Roman last game, but how comforting is it to know you have a guy back there who can bail you out if that does arise?
Yeah, I mean that's why Lutz signed a great goalkeeper like him, and that's very important because sometimes it was the same against Salt Lake. Like there were 1-2 moments where he stepped up very, very important, kept us in the game. It was 0-0, and then in the end we win 4-0. But you don't know how the game would change if he wouldn't save these balls. And same as Colorado, he kept us so long in the game. In the end, it was a little bit pity that we conceded a goal and didn't keep the clean sheet. But obviously it's great to know that you have a goalkeeper like him in the back. And it's not only about savings, what he saves, but also the way he plays and how good he is with the ball on the feet as well.
Pretend that he's not in the room. But how has Rasmus's game come along? He's got goals or almost goals in his last 3 games. What do you see from him? No, he's not here. Pretend he's not here.
No, obviously he's doing a great job. He's playing very well, and I think as he described as well, he's always working hard. He's always giving 100%. I think sometimes we have to call him a little bit back because sometimes he will sprint all over the pitch. And I think that's what makes him very important. And I think in the first games he was a little bit mad about himself when he had some chances, didn't score, but he was very patient, and he's a very hardworking guy, and then in the end he rewarded himself with assists, with goals, and he's very important for the team, running in behind, and also defensively very important the way he presses. And yeah, I think he's a very important player to our team for sure.
How do you feel going into the 3rd game in 8 days?
Yeah, I mean in Germany we had it a couple times more often, so I'm kind of used to it a little bit more. But for me it's nice. I mean, I'm already looking forward for the next game. I can't wait for the next game, and then at City Park as well. So as I said, it's always great to play here in the stadium. So every game is very good. I'm always looking forward to it.
We'll wrap up with Matt.
Similar to that question about the 3rd game in 8 days, you have at least 3 more of these midweek matches coming up in the next few months. Team-wise, so you're a leader on the team, how do you feel that the team has adjusted and adapted to the different training schedule and just having this kind of routine?
Yeah, I think very well. I mean, that was the first time now. We had 3 games in 7 days, but we handled that very well so far. And I think it's very important, that also, the guys who are not playing, in this Open Cup, for example, everybody was 100% there. The mentality was good, and that's going to be very important in the future as well, because when you have these games, it's tough to play 3 times with the same lineup. So I think we did it very well, but in the end of the day, we have to keep that up in the future as well.
Edu, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.